Hey guys, welcome to On Screen, Off Screen. We've got just a couple topics for you this time. Appreciate you joining in. My first one is Flow. It's an animated movie that came out last year. Um, I don't know why I like this movie as much as I do, but I really, really enjoyed it on a soulful level. Um, the story is about a cat that is trying to escape rising water. And at first, I thought it was like a Noah thing. The water just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And she gets on top of the house. The cat gets on top of the house. Water rises up. She gets on top of a statue or some trees. Water rises up. She gets on top of a statue that's even higher. Water rises up. And she can't seem to escape it. She gets onto a boat and then slowly starts to connect with these other animals that are also trying to survive this flood. And the animation is both very pretty and extremely ugly. Like there's a dog character that she's running away from, the whole cats and dog thing. And the dog looks like crap. Like it looks terrible. The dog does not look good at all. But the water and this effect of the water keep rising is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The some of there's a monkey character, and the monkey is collecting shiny things. That's what the monkey likes to do. And the mirror that he uses is gorgeous. The reflections of these creatures, the creatures that don't even look that good, the reflections are fantastic. It's a weird, as far as animation goes, it's very strange. The story of all these animals coming together and understanding each other, even though they have major differences. You have a bird character that is trying to protect the cat, even though it's not among its flock, and the flock attacks it for it. You have the monkey who learns to share its treasures. You have the dog who um, learns that being part of the pack means different things than just being part of the pack. And all of this without words. The dog barks, the cat meows, the bird chirps, the monkey, whatever sound a monkey makes, it makes that. And you have this story of unlikely group of people that come together. It's kind of a trope, but it's done very, very beautifully. The water keeps rising, and you have this well character that at first the cat is absolutely terrified of. But the cat is hungry, and it keeps looking in the water and keeps seeing these fish. And the cat decides that it's going to go and try to get the fish. It overcomes its fear of the water and ends up almost drowning, and the well saves it. Well, in this world where there's so much water, the well is in a great spot. And the water just keeps rising and rising and rising. And there's this tower in the distance that for some reason they're trying to go to. And you don't really know why they're trying to get to this tower. You have no idea. You're just along for the journey. They get to the tower, and some weird freaking stuff happens that I don't understand. I don't get it. But the weird freaking stuff happens, and the bird disappears, and then all of a sudden the water starts to go away. And why this happens, I don't know. I still enjoyed it, but I have absolutely no idea why that happened. The cat connects with everybody else again, and the connection story is really great. Everything's back to normal, but is this family still there? And there's a part where the monkey is with other monkeys that he's found, and they're all looking at their treasures again. Is it worth still looking at the treasure, or is it worth being a family? And at the end of the story, it's worth being a family. But as this family comes together, the cat gets this intuition to run off and figures out the well is dying on land. And the cat decides to show some kindness to the well that saved him, this well that she's been afraid of this entire time, and purrs and rubs against it as the well is dying. And in the very end of the story, I kind of think it's saying, who are you? Are you the kindness? Are you the fear? What makes a journey? Because she's looking at herself in the water and she's seeing a reflection of herself. But I don't know that. I don't know if that's what the story is trying to tell me. It's a it's a weird movie that for some reason I really, really enjoyed. And I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah,
This is not going to be high on my to watch list,
that's totally fair. What I'm saying is
but I'd be
it,
open to watching it.
it's a particular kind of movie that I still don't completely understand, and I kind of want to rewatch.
It sounds
But
like the kind of
yeah,
movie And I would fall asleep during, honestly.
Fair enough. To be completely honest, fair
Hmm.
enough. It's yeah, yeah. I can't like give this a recommendation. I really can't. But I also really enjoyed it. And again, I just don't know why.
So, what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't even know. I thought about that because I figured you'd ask the question. I don't know.
What's your gut
Um,
say?
uh,
What's your gut reaction? What's the first thing that pops in your mind? Scale of 1 to 10.
7.625.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Let's see what IMDb has to say about it.
I really don't know. Maybe high. I don't know.
IMDb has 94%.
Yeah, because it's good. I don't know. It's a weird movie.
Rotten Tomatoes has 97%.
And then
Apple has it as a 4.9 out of 5.
it's
So
critics love this
everybody is
movie.
saying this is a near perfect movie. What's your problem, Conlon? Why don't
I
you get
don't
it?
know. I don't know, Josh. I don't know. I so I just kind of turned it on because I was like, okay, it's another movie that I can talk about while I sort of read my book and watch the movie because I'm super into my book that I keep talking about. But I just kind of put away my book and I sat transfixed at this movie thing I was watching. It's it's unique for
Well,
sure.
good.
It's unique. All right, man. What is your last topic?
The Penguin.
Okay.
Uh, I'm gonna go through it just point by point. I'm gonna start
Okay.
with my cons. I don't actually care about the Penguin.
Okay.
The supporting characters carry the show. The Penguin seems less like a mob boss and more like someone who trips into success. Uh, Pros. Kristen Milioti, who plays Sophie Falcone, is the best part of the show. Plain and simple,
She's great.
by far. Uh, Renzi Feliz, who plays Victor, he's the guy with the stutter, is the second best part of the show and makes the penguin scenes worth watching. Uh, Mark Strong plays Cameron Falcone. You might also recognize him from uh, Kingsman and other things. He plays Merlin. Uh, Clancy Brown plays Salvatore Moroni. I also know him from Star Wars Rebels. He plays. Oh man, I can't. I was prepared. Can't even think of it right now. Uh, Plays the white-haired guy on Ryloth.
Yeah, it looks just like him.
Looks just like him. Uh, he should get more voice work because his voice is incredible. He's got a
It is.
very distinct, like, deep voice, and he should do more voice work. Uh, Marie Botha plays Magpie. Did such a phenomenal job that I am looking up and trying to find out more about who the heck Magpie even is. Because that is a Batman villain I am not prepared. I don't know anything about.
It's an
I got no
interesting
idea.
villain. She's an
But I'm
interesting
like,
villain.
yeah, I like Batman. I'm going to look this up. Um, Having it the show based in post the Batman from 2022 with Robert Pattinson was a great choice. Simply because it establishes the world in a very popular movie, so you don't have to do all the world building again. You've already got it. You've established where everybody is, what the different groups are, all that kind of stuff.
And the aspect of the town being flooded is very prominent. And you can feel that weight throughout the entire story with more than just one
Yeah,
character.
yeah. The stutter guy lost his family in the flood, so he's having to balance who he is outside of that. He has no home. until the Penguin gives him a home. Um, very, very good. I am loving this show, loving it. Um, and the Penguin is one of my favorite Batman villains. It does make me a little sad that in the show called The Penguin, I don't actually care about the Penguin, and in fact want him to die.
Where are
Like
you at in the show?
I have 30 minutes left in the last episode.
Has the twist happened yet?
I Yeah.
Which one am I talking about?
Okay, so the Penguin was just captured by Sophie and
Okay.
tortured and faced his mother, and then they escaped. And then I paused to come record.
Okay. 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 Cool. I'm interested in what you think about the end.
Yeah.
Um, I I think that obviously this was my favorite show last year. I think this show is brilliant. Kristen Milioti is phenomenal, and the episode where she goes to Arkham is one of my favorite episodes of TV. Like she is so good,
Yep.
so good in that episode. I really like how they did make the world feel that weight. Like you have the part where literally even where he sets up his base is inflicted by the world that happens during the Batman movie.
Yeah.
Everything feels alive with the world of Arkham. It's
Yeah.
great. Kristen getting revenge on her entire family and just wiping them out. What a move. Her all the political intrigue between the two different families is extremely well done. The political intrigue with the Penguin is really good. I did like the Penguin. I mostly cared about him because he is this character that comes from a bad world that he wants to rise out of. So he does kind of just take opportunities when they show, and he does kind of just get lucky in some aspects. He does.
When
But
does
it's
he
also,
not get lucky is my problem.
I think when he establishes his base, he's not getting lucky. He's actually establishing that.
He is getting
I
lucky.
How?
He didn't choose to go there.
You're right.
That's my big problem with the Penguin. Why I want him to die and why I want him to lose is he literally trips and falls to success.
I feel like he doesn't fall. I mean, he kind of gets lucky with killing Falcone, not Falcone.
Maroni.
Maroni. He gets lucky with killing Maroni, but I feel like he does a good job of planning out that entire exposition besides that one lucky kill.
Except he gets lucky to get there.
How so?
Like, he gets lucky to find the base. He's lucky that the base connects to the entire city. He's lucky he gets the mushrooms. He's lucky. Right? Like, it's all luck and tripping and falling. And literally every decision he makes is objectively the wrong choice.
He makes a lot of wrong choices for sure.
Right? He's always lying. He's always talking out of his ass. He's always trying to, not get a leg up. He doesn't strike me at all as a guy who actually wants to succeed in the world and he just is trying to get by and he's trying to find the best angle to get through because nowhere is he talking about being this mob boss and ruling the world, except when he's talking to his mom. But everything he actually does and everything he actually says is, oh, look over there. Oh, look over there. Please don't look at me. Please, I want to survive. I want to kiss your boots. Please let me kiss your boots. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, uh, Sophie killed her whole family. I'm taking credit. Oh, Maroni got screwed. I'm taking credit. When he didn't do either of those things.
He's just taking the credit and doesn't feel like he's doing it politically. He's just doing it because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. And the only time I feel like he does political playing is when he manipulates the city councilor to turn the power back on in that part of the city.
I feel like he does it there. He does it at the end, very end of the story. Um, do you think there is some luck with the base? I think that the rest of that plan, where he takes down Maroney, is very well executed. I feel like that's actually a plan. I do think he does some manipulation of
He
Kristen.
doesn't plan to take down Maroney. He lucks into it.
No, he literally kills his wife with a plan.
Yeah, and then when Maroney survives, he plans to sell out his entire group that he established to get his mom back. And then
That
a
seemed to be
fight
part
breaks
of the
out,
plan.
and he luckily causes Maroney to get a heart attack.
Yes, he gets lucky with killing Maroney, but it feels like the rest of that is somewhat planned.
It's not a plan. He's literally just reacting.
Hmm.
I don't feel like he was like, "Hey, knock out the lights. I'll get him when you do." He's kind of just like, uh, "I want to live. Don't kill me, please. Please give me my mom back. You can have it all." And then the power gets knocked out, and he's like, "Here's my chance."
The biggest part where I do feel like he gets lucky is when he's captured and the mom is there and the mom is being absolutely cruel to him and he happens to get out of this place where he's been captured and like tied up. That part I found exceedingly lucky. I liked the character. I liked his interaction with the mom. I liked the interaction that he has with the what's his name, Victor, with Victor a lot. I like the little brother aspect there. I also like the fact that he's controlling Victor a little bit, but in a very this is what you could have kind of a way. Do you really want this? But still a little underhanded, so you can see a little bit of the villainy in there. I found that interesting with the character. I think the acting of the character is phenomenal. Um, and the aspect of the story with his brother I found very, very intriguing, which added to my intrigue with him and his mom.
I I don't think he's a bad character, to be
Just
clear.
not like the least favorite in the show named the Penguin.
Yeah. It's just like if I were to rank all the characters in the show, like all of the main named characters, he would be last.
I
Victor is better than him. Sophie is better than
agree.
him.
I
All
agree
of
with both of
Sophie's
those.
family members are better characters than him.
I
All
don't
of
necessarily agree with that.
I 100% agree with that. I think the whole weight of the episode of her in Arkham is supported by how good her family members'
And they
characters
are
are established, right? It is only
how
so
much you hate
effective
them and how much you want
because
them to die.
yeah, because the cousin and the way she treated her and the way they were afraid of her and finding out that they were afraid of her and all that kind of stuff, not because they thought she was the hangman, but because she knew she wasn't the hangman and they set her up at her
Up
father's
anyway.
will. And it's so good.
It's
It is
so
so
good.
good. And the guy, I forgot his character name, but like she leaves him alive when killing the family
Mhm.
to bring all the rest of the group in and then killing him was brilliant. Was so good and just like I said, I like all of the main characters.
Better
And
than Penguin.
yeah, like Maroney's family. Maroney is kind of just like insert villain here.
That's true.
But the mom and the son are dynamic and interesting
The
characters.
mom is great in everything. She is a fantastic actress.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that she could like play a dead person and the dead person would be interesting because it was her.
probably,
She's
but
great.
that doesn't change the fact that like that makes them more interesting characters than the penguin, right? And I'm not saying the penguin sucks. I'm just
It's just
saying like
other things are more interesting than him. Other
he's
people
the
are more interesting.
title character, and yet I would rather have gotten more screen time with the Maroney family. Right?
Interesting, man.
I
Interesting.
guess it's not dead last because the triad group leaders are just insert thug here, and so I've
Yep.
put them below the Penguin because they're not dynamic or very interesting. They're just kind of like placeholder characters, which is fine. Every show needs them, but they have names, so I guess they're below the Penguin. But the show is called The Penguin. That is my issue with it. If it was like Gotham,
Then it wouldn't
I
be as
wouldn't care.
weirdo.
I'd be like, this is a great show. This is great. I like everything about this. I do wish that also with like Sophie's time in Arkham, they had shown more Batman villains.
Oh, I didn't really care about that. I was fine with the show being pretty separate from Batman.
Not from the Batman, just Batman villains in general. Just like
Okay.
take more comic book villains,
And just have them
throw
there.
them in, and just have them there so that Batman nerds like me would be like, I know that one, and nobody else knows that one.
That would be cool.
You know,
That would be cool.
it is Arkham.
You have the Mad
Throw them
Hatter
in
in
there.
there, and
Yeah,
you can make it look more the Batman where it's more realistic.
yeah,
But you're like, that could be the Mad Hatter, that could be
yeah.
Riddler, that could be
But they only
whoever.
had Magpie, which, to be fair, was one I didn't know and has caused me to look up and start learning more about. But it's Arkham, full of prisoners, and you gave us one. I was half expecting the scene with her walking through the aisle to be like set up for Joker 2, and they would have
Harley there.
not Harley. Is it Harley?
Yeah, Harley's in Joker
Yeah,
too.
I guess it is Harley. Anyway, or the Joker or something. But they didn't, and that's totally fine. Like I said,
I,
it's not a bad thing. I just wish that they would have done it. It would have been a cool little Easter egg to have Batman villains.
I get where you're coming from. At first, I still kind of like that it's more separate because I didn't feel as pandering. It felt more its own thing and authentic, which I kind of liked. But if you had some in the background, that would have been fine. That would have been cool.
I don't want them to like draw major attention to it. Like I don't want Sophie to be walking through the prison and being like, "It's Scarecrow, it's the Riddler, it's
Yeah,
just like have them there because that to me would a be cool little Easter egg for fans and b establish that we are in the Batman universe with Batman villains.
fair enough. Fair enough. That'd be cool. I would have been fine with that.
So
I would have been fine
like
with that.
yeah, like I said, it doesn't knock down the show because it didn't have it. I just got through that episode and thought, wow, that would have been cool if they would have done that.
But it's just, it would have been cool. It's fine that it
Yeah,
wasn't there. But cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Fair enough. I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool with that. Sweet. So, what would you rate the show?
I will have to finish it to give it a true rating. Right now,
That's a good
I'm
point.
feeling like the first two episodes are pretty rough for me, honestly.
Okay.
Because it's mostly just focused on the Penguin, and Sophie doesn't really show up, and she's kind of like the thing that really saves the show. Like I like Victor, but I don't really like Victor until he becomes more defined as a character,
Yeah, it takes a
and
little
is
bit of
kind of
time.
just like there. Uh, they're just like establishing the Penguin and that kind of stuff. So like right now, I'm feeling like an 8 out of 10 because it is a show that I'm very excited to finish because it did get to that point where I'm like, I really want to finish it. I was trying to finish it before we recorded so that I could have my final thoughts ready to go. But I just couldn't quite get there. I've got a little bit left to watch.
I'm very interested in what you think of the very last part of the show. I honestly wish you would have finished it too, because I'm genuinely curious.
It's a really good show, and if it ends badly and I don't like the twist, if there is a twist that I haven't caught on to yet,
What
uh,
would you guess the twist is right now?
I have no idea. I don't know
Okay.
what order. Right, like the penguin is trying to survive, and Sophie is willing to give up her family home and leave, so long as she gets the penguin. And I think the penguin established his friendships, and so the twist is going to be they're going to turn on Sophie. But like, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
The twist is very dividing. I actually really like it, but at first I was like, oh, I had to think about it.
Well, like we'll see when I get there
Yeah.
in an hour's time after recording, because I'm gonna get dinner and finish it. Because, like I said, I'm very interested. I'm very eager to watch this show, not just because I want to talk about it, but because I really, really like this show. So, like, if the ending is bad and I don't like it, I might drop it to a 7.
Okay.
If it's really just like a terrible, terrible ending, maybe a little bit more than that. But I don't see it dropping very far because this, like, second third is brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's so
So
good.
good. And, well, more than just the third, because the second two thirds up until the last hour or 45 minutes of the show, whatever I have left, is brilliant. Could it go much higher? I don't know, because I do have those knocks against it. So unless it suddenly in the very end of the show makes me like the penguin, root for the penguin, uh, care about the penguin, uh,
It
make me
will.
feel like he actually planned something out and was successful at it rather than just lucky or failing into success. Uh, it's not gonna do all of that for me, so I don't see it going much higher than that.
I think it will change the way you view the penguin a little bit, but we'll see. We can talk
He
about the
killed his
very end
own
next week.
brothers. Like, I just,
Yeah,
how
I
am I
know.
gonna care about this character? Like, I hate him. He sucks. He's a skeevy person.
Yeah, you will probably like him even less. We'll just say that.
Okay, well, I'm
I
not
sure did.
surprised. Yeah. Um. So yeah, as of right now, 8
8.
out of 10. I really hope Sophie kills him. Really, really hope that happens. But we'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. My final topic is Hillbilly Elegy. And I think a lot of people won't watch this show because it is written by the Vice President of the United States currently. Um, it is very, very, very minorly political. And I would say it's only political because politics has been part of his life and he asks questions about it throughout the story. This is the closest to a book that I have read about like the way I ponder my own life as I've read in a book. When he's going through it, it feels like he's writing as if he's reliving the events of his life. And he starts the book by saying, I'm 30 years old. What do I have a business writing this book about? So this book isn't about that. It's about trying to help people understand each other. And a lot of you who are in California or New York or not in the South don't understand the people that are in the South. And he starts to explain his life. He says, a lot of people ask me, how can we help these hillbilly type people get an education and learn and grow and grow past their current living surroundings? And he says, this is why it's hard. And he starts to explain his life. And he goes from being a young child and the experiences that he's had with his friends and the way that everyone views education. And he goes through how his mom, who is this drug abuser and just keeps going to drugs over and over and over again, and he explains why he has so much love for her and why he just keeps going back to her even though she just keeps hurting him. And he goes through the school system and how he was angry all the time and didn't understand anything and couldn't and didn't even know how to expand. But he has this grandma and he has this grandma and grandpa who just keep loving him. And they see that their daughter is screwing up and she's on drugs again, but they decide to love this grandson. He has an older sister that decides to take care of him and decides to be kind of a parent figure in his life when he doesn't really have a parent figure in his life. His grandparents do word games with him and math games with him and help to try to educate him and help him think. One of the things I loved about the book is the how much it shows what a good parent and role model can do for a kid. How much it can change their lives and change their surroundings. And one of the key points he wanted to bring up was how his mama completely shaped who he was, and without her, he would have been lost. And how other people in his circumstances, in uneducated backgrounds, don't have that. He goes from being this hillbilly nothing to going into the Marines. The Marines kind of teach him that he is capable. He's not learned helpless. You feel like he's learned helpless before. He just assumes he's going to fail. But in the Marines, they reshape him and give him the patterns to be able to be successful. And he goes to Yale. And in Yale, he, for the first time in his life, truly feels like an outsider. He doesn't understand how these rich people work. He doesn't understand why there's so many forks and there's so many spoons. He's completely lost. And the way that they write the book, the way that he writes the book really makes you feel like you are in that situation. So you somewhat understand the people in the South and these hillbilly roots that he came from, and you can kind of walk in those shoes. And you kind of understand what it's like to go to Yale. And the fact that he didn't understand that coming from such a poor family, he could actually go to Yale for cheaper than he could go to his Ohio State College because of all the different programs that were available. He didn't know that. He had somebody that decided to care for him. He had a mentor that helped him out. And that's the reason he was able to go to the school. He has all of these different aspects of they just don't know. And maybe you can help them out. All these different aspects of there's so many options for education out there, but people don't even think that they can be educated. They don't think they're smart enough. They don't think they can control their life. And you can do that. You can be something more. And I think the reason he wrote the book was to help people understand each other, help people be a little kinder to each other, and realize that there are options for your life, that your life isn't over, that you're not trapped, that it can be okay. That even if you have a drugging mom or someone beats you or whatever your circumstances are, there's more and you can have more. I really think it's a shame that people are going to avoid this book because it's associated with Trump or whatever. But it's not political. It's just a book about trying to understand each other, be kinder, to realize that you can be a little bit more. I I found this book extremely insightful. I found this book to read like somebody who's trying to be really honest with what they said, who was trying to really share what it was like to be inside of his head, to be understood and to understand. And it's something that I would recommend to people because I think it's great. Like just really good.
So you read the book then?
Yeah, I read the book.
Are you gonna watch the movie?
I am going to watch the movie. It's on my list for this next week. I'm interested in. I don't think the movie will be as good. I think it probably will be good, but what I loved about this story was the way that it was written because it genuinely felt like going into his head. It felt like he went back in time and wrote exactly what he was thinking during that time period because he's asking questions that I think all of us ask throughout our lives, and he's just asking them like he remembers asking them in the past. Nothing super political again, just questions about life. And some of those are associated with politics because he's asking about life. But he's not asking in a political way. He's not trying to make a point. He's just asking the questions. Like, why am I this way? Why is the world this way? Why are my parents unwilling to learn? Why will my mom get away from drugs? Why do I hate my mom? Why do I hate these suitors that she keeps going with? Why is that the case? Why do I love my grandma even though she has so many freaking problems? Why do I avoid my grandpa even though he's helped me so much? Why do I honor my sister like this even though she's got issues too? Like, why am I the way that I am? Why don't I understand anything? Why don't I understand the way the world works? Why isn't this working out for me? Just all these questions that are human. And I've read more and more of these biography type things or autobiographies. And this is one of the most human experiences I've had with a book.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend this book to?
I've thought about this and I don't know who I wouldn't recommend it to. I
So
think
everyone.
if, yeah, I really think anyone could get something out of this book. Something from it.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah. I really liked it a lot. It's one of my, it will go on my possible best reads of the year kind of book for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And with that, guys, I think that's the end of our episode. Appreciate you watching. I'm just grateful for everybody. Like, I talked about this hillbilly elegy at the very beginning, and I don't think we take enough time to really understand each other or to be kind enough with each other. And I appreciate you guys listening to us. I appreciate you connecting with other people and trying to make our world just a little bit better place. Part of the reason that we made this series is for books or movies that really inspire us to just be a little bit better, think a little bit higher. And I hope that you go out and you find something that lets you think a little bit higher, be a little bit better, feel a little bit better about yourself, and reach out and lift other people up too. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.